All right, welcome to the Lowdown, brought to you by Unibet. I'm Dev Sahni, and joining me today is a brand new signing in the Queensberry stable. I'm delighted to be joined by unbeaten Raven Chapman. Raven, how are you?
Hello, I'm very good, thank you.
Good to have you on board. Welcome to the team. How did this happen?
Well, it's all thanks to my manager, Steffi Ball, really. So when I started on the journey of turning pro, to be fair, something that I kind of always wanted and sort of had in my head that we'd be going down this route. So after sort of Jason signed with Frank as well, I'd just been pestering Steffi, like, come on, I want that deal. I want to get on there. Frank doesn't have any females. I think I'll be a really good addition. And it still is a massive platform with BT as well. And yeah, sort of put it to them and they were really interested. They saw my two pro fights and it just kind of went from there, and now here we are.
Well, here we are. I mean, look, Frank doesn't sign up female boxers every week, you know, there's no announcements. So, I mean, you must be pretty good, right?
Well, I think I like to think so. I like to think I'll be exciting to watch. I bring it. I'm not scared to get into a fight. I can box as well. So I think I've just got all the avenues that he probably wanted in a female boxer. So yeah, I just can't wait to get started, and hopefully I can show that when I get announced for my fight to debut with Frank.
Oh, okay. Have you heard any rumours of when you're going to fight? Have you had any dates sort of slipped to you or anything?
Not at the moment. Obviously, there's a certain show that I'd love to be on, and I feel like it makes sense as his only female at the moment. So we'll see what happens. I'll manifest that, and hopefully we can make it happen.
You were meant to go to the Olympics, right? I remember hearing about your name. There was you were in Team GB. You were part of that cycle. You were going to head there. What happened with that?
Yeah, so I was part of Team GB, and obviously being up there, that's the whole goal. And for me, it wasn't going to happen, and for whatever reasons, and especially when lockdown happened, I wasn't enjoying my boxing as much anymore. I feel like I just needed a fresh start with something, and I'd been training with Terri as a sparring partner for her fights, and so I just built a really good relationship up there with Steffi Ball and with Terri, and he gave me some really good advice, and I decided, for me, I've just felt like the pro style of fighting compared to how I fight just suited me so much more than the amateurs. So we just sort of took it from there, and through lockdown, for me, it was a bit of a blessing because it meant I got to really knuckle down and work on setting my feet and getting the heavy punches off and just really getting in my head. And to be fair, it wasn't too much of a difference because I moved my head a lot, and my style, like I say, it's a bit more sort of Mike Tyson-esque, if you like. I like to roll, get in, throw the hooks and stuff. So it's not really your standard amateur long punches, move your feet. So where I was trying to get that kind of amateur style more, and it just didn't suit me. I started to not enjoy my training so much. So like I said, knuckling down in the like COVID bit and stuff, I love my boxing again, got really into it. Steffi said, I'll manage you, we'll go pro, and I'll get you there, I'll get you to a world champion. And obviously with that relationship that I brought with them, like I trust him fully, and like he's got me onto this stage now, and I've had two fights under my belt, and I'm just enjoying every minute so far. So I'm just really excited to show everyone what I can do, and actually that the pro scene is what I was meant to be doing.
So you've had the two fights that you mentioned. You're 2-0, one knockout. How have you found the switch from amateur to pro then? As you said, you've always had that pro style, Mike Tyson style, which sounds brilliant. Can't wait to watch it. But how have you found it all?
I've really, really enjoyed it. The main thing really was just slowing things down a little bit. Obviously with the amateurs, you're only fighting for 3 rounds, so everything's a bit more of a sprint. So it's just really slowing things down, not rushing my work, and just setting my feet. And when I see that opening, just having that real killer instinct, if you like, and go in for it, and just not tapping shots, but really letting the hands go and letting the power go. So yeah, it's been amazing. I've just really enjoyed the whole transition, and being able to put it then into practice into my fights has been great. Like I say, my first fight, I got my stoppage, and that was just a few things that we've been working on, and now it's just maintaining that, getting that momentum going, and hopefully for many more stoppages and knockouts in the future.
Let's hope so. So tell me about the work that you've been doing with Terri Harper. Obviously, former world champion now, and you know she's at the top of her game. So I'd imagine you're getting in some great work there.
Yeah, it's been great. Like I say, I was training with Terri while I was still an amateur, so I felt like I really got a better inside view of the way of the pro world and everything, the difference between the amateur game and the pro game. So I was her main sparring partner for most of her world title defenses, apart from Tasha Jonas, because I'm not a southpaw. And yeah, I was giving Terri the hardest spars out of anyone that they was getting up, and it would prepare Terri then for the fight, because you know she knew she was going to have a hard spar with me, and it would give her those sort of nerves that you need for preparing for a fight in a way. So it was just really good, and just getting that understanding of how the whole pro scene works, and you know, speaking to Steffi, he's got a wealth of knowledge. He's been there and done it himself, and also, you know, had fighters from grassroots level to world champion level. So just being able to pick his brain and learn everything that way before I even turned over, before I even, you know, got the license, was just, yeah, stuff that you couldn't buy really. So it was very, very important, and has really helped me in my game so far, I think.
I think Steffi's going to be good for you. He's good for all of his fighters. From what I've seen,
Yeah.
he's a great manager to have on board. He's always banging the drum, and you know he's been sending me a few messages like, oh, you could do this. Why don't you use this, and things like that. So he must be great to have as part of your team.
Yeah, definitely. And that, you know, that was another reason why, like in those couple of years, gaining that sort of relationship and rapport with Steffi and Terri, and just seeing how he really puts his fighters first. It's like I say, you know, he's been in the ring and he's done it himself, so he knows what it takes to get in there, to get in that shape, to get in the right mental state and everything. So everything he does is aimed at the fighter and getting the best for them, and you can really see that with the team that he's built.
Why do you think it's important for Frank and for BT Sport to have someone like yourself on board?
I just think, you know, women's boxing is progressing so much now. There's so many more females on the scene, and it's still at the start. So if you're getting on board now, you know, you can get trailblazers for, you know, future females who want to turn over. So it's just so important, and people are really enjoying watching the females and watching the women's boxing now, because we will come to fight and we'll put everything that we do in it. We don't, you know, duck fights or anything like that. So we're there to put on a show and do what we love doing as well. You know, we train just as much and just as hard as anyone else. So I think we deserve to get that opportunity to display what we've been doing as well. And I think now's a great time for Frank to get on board, and hopefully I'll be the first at the moment of like many more females to join Frank and Queensberry and have that platform, BT Sport.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's been the foray before a couple of years ago. Obviously, as I keep saying to people, Nicola Adams, right? So you know, Frank guided her to a world title. She retired unbeaten. So the track record's all right.
That's it. You know, he got Nicola to a world title in 5 fights, and that's exciting for me. Like, oh well, you know, I've already got 2 under my belt. What can Frank do with me? And I feel like I know that he'll have like long-term plan for me, and can, you know, you can just see where the women's side of the sport is going, and I'm just so like happy to be able to be on this platform with it, and with a great team that I know will, you know, look after and make me a priority as well. I'm not in anyone's shadows. I'm lighting the way for everyone else after me, just like Nicola did. And, you know, being the first one after Nicola, and after how many years, the only other female that he's signing is a huge honour to me. and I'm just really excited about it and getting everything going.
You mentioned there not being in anyone's shadow. Was that important to you? Were you thinking, okay, if you go here, you might be playing second fiddle, or second fiddle if you went over here? This is just kind of all the attention is going to be on you, certainly to start with.
Yeah, 100%. I think, for me, it's all about paving my own way, and it's nothing against anyone else, or it'd be great to be able to, Katie Taylor did an amazing job, Nicola did an amazing job, but I want to do things like my way, and being on the back of being with Steffi and Terri, I didn't want to always say being Terri shadows, and I'm doing my own thing. I'm doing it how I want to do it and what I think will be best for me as an individual, because I want to get those world championship honors. I want to do what I can in the sport and prove myself, and I don't want it to be overshadowed by anything else necessarily. So I think it's a really great place for me to do that.
I think so too. So you're boxing at featherweight. How quickly do you think you want to be moved? I mean, you see it can be quite fast in women's boxing because of there's not as much depth. You could end up with a world title quite quickly. What do you think?
Yeah, I think obviously whatever Steffi and Frank want to do, I'll trust. That's why I'm with them. But like I said, with Nicola, you got Nicola to a world title in 5 fights. I've already had 2 under my belt. So, the next few fights, I could be fighting for some sort of title, which is what I definitely like to be doing. I think experience-wise is the only thing I haven't got at the moment. But in the next 2 fights, I'll gain that experience and then know where I'm at in the pro game. But I don't think it will take me long at all. I've adjusted really well to it, and like I said, it just really suits me. So I think it shouldn't take too long. And like I say, I just put my trust in Frank and in Steffi to get me to where I want to be.
Well, the top fighter at your weight, I think, undoubtedly is Amanda Serrano. You must rate her. You must look up to her.
Yeah, massively. She's pound for pound one of the best female fighters that there is. And for me, I always said it from when I turned pro, I'd love to be able to fight Serrano for the belts. That's a dream, to be able to get in the ring with such a seasoned pro and a woman that's been there and done it, not only in boxing, she's also in MMA. So she's definitely someone that I've looked up to. So yeah, eventually I'd love to have that fight. Anyone with the belt is, who I'm aiming for, and any fight between that, they're just people in my way. So that's where I want to get to in the end and have the belts myself.
Well, how do you see her getting on against Katie Taylor then? That's the big fight coming up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good fight. I think Serrano could win that, especially if Katie decides to stand and trade with Serrano. I think Serrano's one of the highest knockout ratios for any female fighter in her fights. It's ridiculous. So I think in that sense, if Katie was trying to stand and trade, I think Serrano will win. But maybe if Katie can stay boxing and move in for 10 rounds, she could nick a win that way. But it's super 50-50, and I'm really excited to watch that for sure.
Do you think Katie Taylor's still got the legs to keep away from Amanda Serrano for the full sort of duration?
I think I'd say when you looked at their last few fights, Katie seems to be on more of a downward, whereas Serrano's looked very good and very strong in her last few fights. So it'll be interesting. And I also, like I say, I don't think Katie's faced anyone quite like Serrano either. So it'll be a really interesting fight.
The other monster fight in female boxing right now being discussed is Claressa Shields against Savannah Marshall. How do you see all that playing out?
Yeah.
Did you see the little?
Yeah, I saw the little back and forth. I think again that's going to be a great fight. For me, I just feel like Marshall's got that advantage in the fact that she's a boxer, but she can punch as well. Claressa undoubtedly is a brilliant boxer, brilliant boxing brain, but she just hasn't got that power, which I think could wear her down with feeling Savannah's power through the rounds. And, you know, it breaks opponents down. When you've got that power, they don't want to come in. And I think that's, for me, I edge Savannah for that one for sure, purely based on the fact that she's got the boxing skill and the power to go with it.
But away from female boxing, you're obviously you're a boxing fan as well, right? I mean, who do you like?
Well, I've always loved Mike Tyson, like I say, that's a bit more today's age. Triple G, I just love his attitude. He comes to fight, he does what he does, and you know, he wouldn't back down from anyone. And I just love that attitude from him. Obviously Tyson Fury, he's got the whole personality, he's got it all. Met Fury, I've sparred a Fury.
You've sparred
so, he can move.
Fury? What, Tyson?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 2 full rounds. Yeah, 2 full rounds sparring. Yeah.
How did that go?
I had him all over the rope. Yeah.
Is this going to be one of those interviews where we have a sparring story that emerges? Raven Chapman knocked down Tyson Fury in sparring.
yeah, literally. I helped prepare him for Otto Wallen. That's what I did.
Wow, no, that's cool though. So you had a whole sort of couple rounds with Tyson Fury. I guess, I mean, presumably he wasn't going in full trying to knock your head off, right?
No, yeah. So it was really, like, I was training in Marbella while he was there at a training camp. And he just saw me training and said, right, we're sparring, you know how he is. And that's why it's just so nice. He's so personable. Doesn't matter who you are, he has time for everyone. So yeah, it gave me 2 rounds of sparring as well. So yeah, it was mad. And for a big guy, he can definitely move quick. You know, you can't be slacking with him, even at like featherweight against bloody heavyweight, and I'm not struggling to keep up with him. So no, it was wicked. He's a good laugh.
Did he give you any advice about your career and you know, any sort of advice in the pro ranks?
Yeah, he said just keep going for it. You know, it's like, you're good enough, you've got the talent, and then just aim high and stick to it.
Nice, good advice.
Yeah,
good advice. Yeah. Tell me about your nickname, the Omen. I haven't heard of that one before.
It all sort of stemmed from, had an interview and they'd heard someone over say you're like a demon with the face of an angel, and from that Steffi just sort of was like, oh, it just made me think, and he just started calling me the Omen, and it just stuck basically from just someone saying that to me, but more on the fact that, because when I'm in the ring, I'm in fight mode, and like I say, there's no mercy almost. So that's why it's like I'm a demon in the ring, but an angel outside. I
like this a lot,
that's
because
kind of where it stemmed from.
Because all I was thinking of was just the scary little kid from the film. But you don't look like Damien, isn't it? It's Damien's his name.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Do you know what? I've not seen it, like the actual original film. I feel like I need to go and watch it now. That'll be what I do this evening, I think.
I think you should channel your inner Damien.
I mean, really.
The kid's a nutter. Definitely. The kid's an absolute nutter. So get involved with that.
I'll bring that to my next fight. Bring it in with me for sure.
So what can we expect when Raven Chapman makes her Queensberry debut? What can fans expect?
Just pressure, a lot of pressure, a lot of punches, and a lot of power. You know, I'm not there to play tap tap tap. I'm there to hit hard, get the job done, and I'm fit. I come forward, and I'm just a bit relentless, really. And that's, like I say, I'm that demon in the ring. My thing is, when you're in the ring with me, I just want to make you hate every second of being in there.
Well, and of course you've got the sparring experience with Tyson Fury as well, so it's all happening, isn't it? It's all happening, Raven. All right. Well, look, unless there's anything you wanna add or anything you wanna tell the fans, anyone you wanna thank, I'll let you go.
Yeah, I just want to thank, obviously, Frank for giving me the opportunity, Steffi for getting me the opportunity, and I'm just really excited to show everyone what I'm about and what I can do, and hopefully bring, you know, women's boxing to BT and get more fans on board.
Let's do it. Really looking forward to this journey, and make sure you watch that film. I mean, the kid again, he's
I will. All right, I'll watch that tonight. Thanks, Dev.
All right, cheers, cheers, Raven. Cheers. Speak to you soon. Take care.
Speak soon. Bye.
Bye.